I'm Stoner. This is Harry. And this could be Jerry. You never know. I'm thinking about that. This is Stoner Stash Box. This video is a special video concerning a certain person in my life that influenced my musical tastes, influenced my life, changed my life, uh, was my mentor, my hero, um, and it was my dad. My dad was born in April the 5th, 1934. Uh, this coming Monday would have been his 87th birthday. He passed away December 19th, 2002, from pancreatic cancer. Um, he suffered a lot the last few years. Unfortunately, I couldn't be there when he passed. It's a complicated story. It's a heart wrenching story, and I'm not going to get into that. This is more of a celebration, if you will, and a thank you and a homage to my father. He influenced my musical taste a lot, and he was a key component in introducing me to so many great artists. I've got a few albums that I want to show you that we had in our house, and some albums that he showed me and said, listen to this, and some albums that he got me. He actually got for me to listen to. And he turned me on to a lot of great stuff. I'll get to it. I don't know how long this is going to be. It doesn't matter to me because this is about my dad, Joe. He was a great, great man. This, my introduction to Johnny Cash. He was my dad's favorite country singer. My dad adored him. And in some ways, he reminds me of my dad. But this was the album that he introduced me to. And I absolutely love this album. I used to play this over and over and over again. Johnny Cash, Everyone Loves a Nut. This is a fantastic, funny, great album. I mean, everybody loves a nut. Everybody loves a weirdo. The one on the right is on the left. Hilarious as hell. A cup of coffee. Funny. He goes into a restaurant and the coffee's spiked with booze, and it gets drunker and drunker as the song goes on. It's hilarious. The Bug That Crawled Around the World. The Singing Stars Queen. Austin Prison. Dirty Old Egg Sucking Dog. Take Me Home. Please Don't Play Red River Valley. And everyone knows the boa constrictor. I'm getting swallowed by a boa constrictor. And Joe Bean. I love this album, and every time I look at it, I think of my dad. It's such a fun album, and it's a great album. We always had this. I Walk the Line, by Johnny Cash, laying around the house. I always played it. I Walked the Line, Folsom Prison Blues, Hey Porter, wreck of old 97, Big River. Just a lot of great tracks on this. It just takes me back in time when I was a kid, and that crappy old stereo we had, but God, I loved it. And this and Folsom Prison, two of the best live albums that he ever did, because he was had a captive audience, as it were, you know. Um, just great. And Ring of Fire. Um, I Still Miss Someone. Ring of Fire. The Rebel Johnny Yuma. Bonanza. Just like I say, it's all reminds me of my father. He was such a great man. Mean as Hell. This was around the house too. His Western songs. It's just Mean as Hell. 25 Minutes to Go. Oh, that is such a haunting song. Bury Me Not in the Lone Prairie. Just classic Western. Um, and this one was I played this one as much as I did Everyone Loves a Nut. Orange Blossom Special. I mean, you know, Long Black Veil, Orange Blossom Special, It Ain't Me, Baby. Him doing Bob Dylan, a country singer doing a folk song. Well, country is kind of, you know. Wild Woodflower, Danny Boy, which I don't really like because of my name, but, you know, that's beside the point. When it's springtime in Alaska, it's 40 degrees below. That was somebody else that my father introduced me to, which was Johnny Horton. He loved Johnny Horton. And as Johnny Cash is to me, every time I listen to him, it's my dad, you know, and that's it. But on another note, in a different genre, I remember him bringing home to me an album, a greatest hits album by an artist that I at the time had never heard of before. He brought this home. Not this particular one. This is an import, but I had the one on reprise with the poster. And I had that on my wall. I was a kid. I had it on my wall. You know, Jimmy, Mitch, and Noel on horseback, just like cowboys, gunfighters. I played this to death. I played it over and over and over and over. I knew every song, every lyric. Absolutely loved it. And my own father, who always greased his hair back with wild root, wore a white t-shirt, blue jeans with the cuffs rolled up, white socks, black shoes, kind of a greaser, turned me on to Jimi Hendrix. Jimi Hendrix. And then later, he brought this home to me. This is an original one that he brought home to me. Otis Redding, Jimi Hendrix, and Monterey Pop. Otis on one side, Jimmy on the other. Historic concert. My first exposure to the greatness of Otis Redding and his voice and how he could, his energy. You could hear the energy coming from him, and you could just see the performance. And Jimmy as well. Oh my goodness! I mean, this, you know, Otis, Shake. His entire set is on this. Shake, Respect. I've been loving you too long. I can't get no satisfaction. Try a little tenderness. And then Jimmy's Like a Rolling Stone. Rock Me Baby. Can You See Me? And then the incredible guitars destroying, blowing up Wild Thing. This album and this album was such an influence on me, and it's all because of my father. Thank you, Dad. Thank you. And then I got this for Christmas. He bought this for me for Christmas one year. Rainbow Bridge. soundtrack, Jimi Hendrix. And this has been my favorite post Hendrix. Well, after his death, post whatever album ever. And this has been taken apart and put in other compilations of post of Hendrix. This is called Dolly Dagger. I love Dolly Dagger. I love this album. Dolly Dagger, Earth Blues, Polygat, Room Full of Mirrors, and the studio version of Star Spangled Banner. Look Over Yonder. I hear my train a-comin'. This is incredible, incredible. And then Hey Baby. This is an essential Jimi Hendrix album. Absolutely. And my dad is also is the one that got me into compilations. This is an original. It's all split, and I don't want to. I don't know if I should take it out of the plastic or not because it'll fall apart on me. But this is a Dunhill, ABC Dunhill compilation. Big Hits Now. It introduced me somewhat. I already knew about the Three Dog Night, but here's what's on here, okay? Eli's Coming, Three Dog Night, Hey There Lonely Girl, Ed Holman, Heaven Knows, The Grassroots, New World Coming, Mama Cass, and this introduced me to the music of B.B. King. The Thrill Is Gone by B.B. King is on this. Jam Up and Jelly Tight, Tommy Rowe, pop, bubblegum, whatever. Can I change my mind? Tyrone Davis. Baby Hold On, The Grassroots. And the phenomenal, the fantastic group Smith. Take a look around. Fantastic. And if you have the soundtrack to Easy Rider, you know that the version of The Wait, the band's The Wait, is fantastic. As good as the band's. I feel anyway. And next, my first experience with heavy metal, hard rock. Well, I'd say hard rock. It wasn't heavy metal at the time. But they coined the phrase Steppenwolf's Hey Lottie Mama, which is off of their live album. And I became an instant fan after I heard that Steppenwolf on this album here. So excited by B.B. King and Celebrate Three Dog Night. This was the album that got me into compilations, and I've never looked back. And my father is kind of like, I'm kind of like him. He has a dry sense of humor. He likes to laugh. He has a serious side. He was a hard worker. He's just a great man. But he introduced me to this guy, Spike Jones. I had that somewhere around here is the vinyl version of it. I don't know where it's at right now. This is Spike Jones. My dad loved Spike Jones. And he says, Danny, you got to listen to this. You love this. Cocktail for Two, William Tell Overture. Chloe, My Old Flame. With the guy just doing it's Peter Lorre. Oh my God, it's hilarious. The Glowworm. None But the Lonely Heart. Laura, The Man on the Flying Trapeze. You Always Hurt the One You Love. It's a great one too. De Furious Face, Dance of the Hours, and Hawaiian War Chant. Oh my gosh. This is the classic. This is the absolute best of Spike Jones. And my dad handed this down to me, this love for this man's music. And also, I guess this is about the end of the stuff I'm going to show you, but it wasn't exactly the album, but on PBS there used to be a TV show, and my dad said, "You got to sit down and watch this. These guys are funny as hell." And I sat down one night with him and watched Monty Python's Flying Circus. My dad loved this, and he got me to watch it, and I got into it. I loved it. I still love Monty Python. And not only that, he got me in all kinds of British comedy. My dad, like I say, my dad loved to laugh. And it was just a joy to see him laugh and happy and relaxing and have a good time. And not only did he introduce me to Monty Python and the comfy chair, he also was the first one to that I knew of that introduced me to a certain horror movie that I knew nothing about, a movie called Halloween. He introduced me to Halloween. We had cable at the time, and like I say, he says, "You gotta watch it. This thing's scary." So we sat down one night and watched it. I loved it. And he also introduced me to Phantasm. My dad, Joe, was a great guy. I mean, he had so many facets to him. And just for instance, I'd show you about the love that he had for me. Not just me, but my sister, but for me. He had a fear of water, a really bad fear of water. He couldn't swim. And I was one time I was Boy Scout, and there was a fishing jamboree, as it were, and we had to go out in a boat, and I can't swim either. So we had our fishing gear, my cane pole, and as frightened as my father was, and as frightened as I was, he calmed me down. We got into the rowboat, and we went out in the middle of the pond, and we fished. Didn't catch anything, but we had a good time. And a few years later, our family, my dad, my mom, my sister Terry, and I were going to Bicknell, Indiana, to visit my grandparents. And there's other family down that way, Washington. I think we're going to visit as well. But I started complaining of a headache on the way down there. I was complaining of a headache. And as it turned out, there was a leak in the muffler or tailpipe or something like that, and I was overcome by carbon monoxide. My father drugged me out of the car, unconscious, smacking me around, shaking me, tried to get me to wake up, walking me around. This was in the middle, I believe this was in the winter. I know it was cold out. And he saved my life. And he took me to a doctor's office. I don't know what time of night it was. I have no idea, but I remember it quite well. And he saved my life. And he was the first person also. He helped me buy my first sound system. He backed me up 110% when it came to my music and to myself and to my thoughts, my freedom. So this video is not only for me to say thank you to my father, but this is for my dad. I love you, Dad. And it's odd. It seems like only yesterday he was around, but it seems like light years since he's been gone. And happy birthday, Dad. I love you.